are live streaming again, so we are back in the building again. We're very excited about being back on here. So what's up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of Walking This Way's Impact Voice Podcast. I'm your host, Ferman Jackson Jr., alongside Miss A. Anna C. from my hometown of Mobile, Alabama. Also, we got the queen of fitness herself, Coach Shae, out of Dallas, Texas, also the student of the game. And also our special guest tonight, she's half woman, half amazing. She's just full of energy, she's full of drive, she's full of impact, and that's what we love here on Impact, right? People that's about impact, making a difference. Not only that, changing their generation. And I seen this t-shirt a while back that said that generational wealth is the new gangster. That's kind of interesting. So we're very excited having Nicole Washington here with us tonight. She's full of energy. We're going to talk about a lot of stuff from business to faith. You know it. So before we get off into the interview tonight, we know we got Anna with the financial tips. We know we got Coach Shae with the entertainment news. And also big shouts to the king himself, Kenny Primetime Williams. He's out. He should be back with us shortly. So we say get well to our brother. Make sure he get a speedy recovery, and we'll see him back soon here on the podcast. But before we get off into the nice interview, go ahead and take it away with the latest financial tips with the girl herself, Miss A. Anna C. Go ahead.
Hey, everybody. Yes, everybody, let's take a second and send some well wishes to our brother, Kenny Primetime Williams. And I'm just so excited to be on here with you tonight. Is Anna C., the spending plan specialist. And boy, I'm telling you, it's so much going on in the world of finance. But tonight, I promised you guys last week that I would tell you 4 ways, if you can see my fingers there, that you can earn income. There's going to be 2 categories. The first is going to be actively. The second is passively. And so if you're not aware, the first way that people typically have been taught to earn money is by being an employee, an associate. You may provide your time in exchange for monetary needs, right? So you clock in, you clock out, and because of your labor, you are then compensated with pay. That's the absolute first way we're taught how to make money. And it's absolutely nothing wrong with that, right? Because to be a great leader, you have to be able to follow, right? So the second way that we can earn money on the active side is by being a business owner. Business owners also sub their time for money. They provide products or services, right? And so you say, well, what's the difference between an employee and a business owner? With employees, they work for someone, some company, right, to help produce a result. When you're a business owner, you work for yourself, but you do indeed work actively. So I want you to think about people who work actively. That means they give time for money. And remember, your time is limited. It's only 24 hours in a day. So if you're not actively working, you do not receive income. People who work with their hands, people who provide things, think about hairdressers, maybe a barber. Think about people like doctors, right? If they're not in there doing surgery, a lot of times they're not compensated for what they do. Think about people who start their own businesses, whether it's a notary, whether you cut grass, lawn care. People, you can have a business, be a business owner, but if you work actively, that's part of category 1. So you're either employee or business owner. Now, when you go from employee to business owner, there is some freedom. There's some flexibility. You start taking the caps off of your income, because typically if you work for someone else, you don't determine how much you can earn, and you're limited by time. When you become a business owner, there is some flexibility in what you can earn, but you're still limited to time, right? So let's go over to passive. That's when it gets really, really sexy, okay? You go from business owner to entrepreneur. And a lot of people say, well, what's the difference between a business owner and an entrepreneur, right? A business owner still exchanges time for money. An entrepreneur produces results through others. So you want I said it backwards. The business, all right. So when you become an entrepreneur and you start owning a business, I said it backwards there, you start producing through other people. So you're not actively having to be in the place. Think about the person who owns McDonald's. They don't actually have to drop the fries and make the burger in order to receive revenue. So I want you to think about that when you're thinking about entrepreneur, which is the active, and then the entrepreneur who is over here on the other side. All right, business owner. The last way that you earn money would be by becoming an investor. Investors exchange money, right? Money doesn't get tired. It doesn't work off of time. That's when you start really earning income passively because you don't have to be physically present. You're rewarded for doing something once and you're paid over and over and over again. And it's a lot of different ways you can become an investor and receive passive income. Some of those ways may be in the market, maybe in real estate, maybe by residuals that you receive from rights, from music, from royalties. So you think about, we talked about active. I know I confused y'all when I said business owner and entrepreneur, but just remember, active is when you exchange time for money. Passive is when you don't have to physically put in the time day after day to receive revenue. Passive is what you want to work towards, right? You can become wealthy on both categories, but you want to see what fits your lifestyle most. How can you reach your ultimate dreams and goals, right? We want to get to passive income, but we don't have to be present. You want to make some money in your sleep. All right. Active, that's when you're exchanging time for money. Passive is when you do something once and you're paid residually, time after time after time, the effort you put in. So think about things that you can do residually, something you can do once. Like when you start investing into real estate, when you start a business and you start hiring associates to produce the results for you, you start producing results through people, because we talked about having a team gets the dream accomplished faster. All right, so those are your 4 ways that you can make money. Now we're gonna drop some comments down in the chat. If I threw you off a little bit, we're gonna go back. We're gonna talk about being an employee. We're gonna talk about being an entrepreneur. We're gonna talk about being a business owner and then being an investor, your 4 ways that you earn income. I'm gonna pass it back over to Ferman.
Appreciate you, Anna, with the latest financial tips that you delivered once again on this lovely Tuesday. Once again, for those that's live streaming with us right now on Facebook Live, we do appreciate y'all for tuning in with us. I also want y'all to share, get a thumbs up, get the hearts up, share with your family, friends, loved ones, you name it. I'm very excited about tonight's episode, of course. And before we get off into our interview tonight with our special guest here, kick it off with the girl herself, Coach Shae, with the latest entertainment news.
Hello again, everyone, and thanks again, Anna, for those great tips, y'all. If y'all been missing those tips, y'all probably want to go like back to you, because Anna always drops the great financial tips for us. But y'all know I'm always coming to y'all with that celebrity tea. So here's what I have for y'all today. So it's been going crazy. French Montana has been going crazy. It's been trending on YouTube, Twitter, as he has released his statement that he made with his interview with DJ Academic, as to him saying that the record labels are taking out insurance on the artist, y'all. He found out that these record labels are taking out insurance policies on the rappers. Some of the rappers that were brought up in this was like some of our favorite rappers, like Young Dolph, maybe even Mo3, just to name a few other rappers that we really familiar with. Definitely leave in the comments if you believe that this is like one of these conspiracy theory things, or you believe that people really taking out insurance policies on these rappers. It was another interview with one of the record label owners. I forget his name. One of the owners of the record label said that he does take out insurance on his artists because they become a liability. When they join the company, you become a liability. They also say that artists these days are very reckless. So they know that y'all out here taking drugs. They know that y'all engaging in a lot of illegal activity. They know what y'all doing. So they feel like you're a part of their business. They got to cover you. So y'all definitely leave me in the comments. Tell me how you feel about them taking out insurance policies on these rappers. Not that you're not supposed to have insurance, because if we have been on here long enough to know, we know.
You know I want to say something about that, Shae.
Yeah, we're supposed to have insurance. But how do you feel about, because of these young rappers not being so knowledgeable about what all it comes with? They're not leaving their family anything. The record labels become a beneficiary, taking over all their funds. They're not getting the masters to their music. So it go really deep when it comes to the insurance policies in these artists. What you think, Anna?
Well, I'm gonna tell you what I think, girl. I think there is nothing new under the sun. And what these record labels are doing, we see it every day in our regular day-to-day jobs. When we go to our jobs, I hear so many people say, oh, well, I got insurance with my job, right? And a lot of times when you become these celebrities, these artists who work through other people, like they have that machine behind them, you still are responsible for reading the small print. So I don't fault the person who writes and signs the contract, but it is up to the artist to understand what's going on behind the scenes, right? So what the record label owners are doing is not anything new, because the artists, they're associates of a company. A lot of times when you go to companies, they do have insurance policies on all of the associates, right? And they're absolutely correct. Those people can and sometimes are liabilities to the company. I also want you to think about in business, when you have partners, which these artists are considered because they bring big revenue to the companies, right? As business partners, you can insure key players, key associates, and it's not just in the music industry. That way, in the event the person who's contributing mass profits to the business, if something were to happen to them, the business does not dissolve, collapse, and go bankrupt, right? So you'll have key associate insurance. So if something happens to them, the business stays afloat, they have time to recuperate and make other plans, right? And so not only with the artists, but when you have insurance on your job, you don't get guaranteed the death benefit. It does not automatically go to your family. The owner of the policy is the employer, and they decide how much to give to your family. And a lot of times, something else that people don't know and that they may not understand, when you have insurance through these companies, if it's over a certain amount of dollars, you are then taxed. All right. It's called like a phantom tax, because you're not realizing they count that as part of your income. All right. The cost of that policy counts as earned income, and you are then taxed because of that. So that's money you never received, but you're being taxed as if you did receive it when it's over X amount of dollars. So I'm not surprised by this at all. So anytime people don't know what's going on or they don't understand, they are going to be upset. That's why communication is key. That's why reading is fundamental. When you get into these big positions, as you start advancing, excelling, read the fine print. And if you aren't able to get somebody on your team, hire someone to work on your behalf outside of that person, outside of that company that has your best interest in mind. But I don't think it's anything wrong with the company having insurance on these artists, because, they do some crazy stuff.
They do. They become liability. I also read that the sales, like you were saying, it's still a business, right? And the business keep going. So usually when these rappers get killed or they die, the sales increase by 3 times the amount that it would. So imagine like you basically being worth more dead than alive at this point. Like that's basically
that's something to think about, right?
Right.
These artists better make sure that they have coverage outside of their employers as well, and make sure they reduce the risk that's going on around them. You got to keep your eyes open and your heart too.
Yeah.
I mean, it comes from not them being educated enough, because a lot of you guys that come from the inner city, they come from the project, they come from poverty-stricken background. So when they see a large number comes up, they're gonna jump on it.
Right.
They get tired of struggling, so they're not really educating themselves. Educating yourself is important when it comes to these contracts and stuff like that. So
get you a team, baby. You need a financial planner, you need an accountant, you need a CPA, and not just somebody you grew up with or someone you can trust. and you need to be at least knowledgeable enough to know the basics so you can catch some things, because a lot of folks are trying to trick you and con you. You don't have to know everything, but you do need to know what's going on with your personal business and finances. Get a lawyer.
Okay, that is so true, y'all. Also, in later other news, in other news, Nick Cannon welcomes baby number 8, y'all. Nick Cannon welcomes baby number 8. My boy just won't
Father
stop.
Abraham.
Yes, and my boy just won't stop. I don't care how many vending machines full of condoms Kevin Hart donates to him. He just refuses to follow the protocol. I don't understand what's going on. I don't think he's gonna stop till he hits between 10 and 12. Rumors has it that he wants to have 10 or 12 children, so he probably won't stop until he reaches one of those. He disturbs me because he cannot be present. Like, money doesn't bring presence into a child's life. Like, you can have money, but money doesn't bring about presence into a child's life.
Is they by the same woman?
No, he has 8 children, 5 baby mothers. This is baby mother number 5.
No, you know what? No, I'll leave that alone, because that right there.
We'll say that.
Yeah, we'll say that for another episode, because anyway, go ahead.
4 days ago, my boy Kodak Black, he can't stay out of trouble either. 4 days ago, my boy Kodak Black was placed on house arrest, y'all. They put this boy on house arrest. He violated his probation. He was arrested for trafficking oxycodone and having possession of controlled substance. So, y'all, we probably will not be hearing that much music unless it's from him recording down in the basement. And I'm just kidding. We know he probably have a studio in his house somewhere. But y'all, these rappers are definitely out of control. Remember when y'all listening to this music and watching these videos, remember that this is for entertainment purposes only. Okay, y'all, this is for entertainment. They heard it to entertain us. This is not nothing you're really supposed to be digesting and taking into your personal and acting on it. Okay. And that's all I have for the celebrity today.
All right, appreciate you, Shae, with the latest entertainment news and updates. Of course, big shout out to everybody that's watching us right now on Facebook Live. We're live streaming. So we encourage everybody to like, share, comment, leave thumbs up, hearts up. We're very excited about being back with y'all one more time here on this great Tuesday. We know it's July the 26th, 2022. We're halfway through the year of 2022. Hope y'all got some things ironed out, hashed out, tagged out, really get on your purpose, really get on your grind, and become the better version of yourself. We know we hear that term very loosely, but are we actually becoming a better version of ourselves? Not just talking it, but being about it. And I'm very excited about our special guest tonight. She's an example of that. She's, I call her half woman, half amazing. She's very energetic. She's very entertaining. But I love about this her because she's very passionate about what she does. She has fun in what she does. She has fun in her business. And your work's supposed to be fun. And that's what it's all about. So some things about her. She's a mortgage specialist, correct?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
A financial specialist, correct?
Yes.
I'm trying to get this stuff off the top of my head.
You got it.
Okay.
You got it.
What she like to do for fun? She loves to travel, correct? Have a great time. She wants to help. She needs some more clients. She will help millions of people in the United States that need help with their credit. And we know when it comes to the financial arena, that's an arena that we're very, very lacking within our community, not just in our community, but people across the board. We was never taught finances when we was in school. Our parents did the best they could.
You got it.
But we were still lacking in them areas. When people got credit cards, people see credit cards and all this dead end. But now we have people such as Nicole who's willing to help you get on that right track. So I just want to introduce our guest for the evening. And we're finally connected here on the podcast. So Nicole, welcome to Walking This Way Impact Wheels podcast. I know I did a little introduction on you, but elaborate and lighten the audience on who you are. I know they see you on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, so they finally get to see you here on the podcast. So introduce yourself to the audience that's watching us right now on Facebook Live.
Yes. So, hi, everybody. I'm so happy to be here on your podcast. Thank you all for having me. So, my name is Nicole, and what I do here on social media platforms is to help people with financial strategies like credit repair, business opportunities, W-4 strategies, and to really just to introduce people about the entrepreneurship in the online space.
Man, that's some awesome stuff. What I respect about you because you love what you do and you make it fun. And your work's supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be meaningful. Yes. So what exactly got you interested in doing what you're doing right now today?
Yeah, so how it happened was actually a few years ago. I basically had almost lost everything. And I was like in a part of my life to where I basically was just down. And I was around family members and I had noticed that they were like talking about how they were struggling with their credit. And this was a complaint of theirs year after year. And I'm like, I didn't say this out loud, but I'm sitting in a room like they still having struggles with their credit. So it was like a light bulb effect for me. It was like, okay, so obviously credit is a big issue because I have friends and families who continue to struggle with this issue. And I heard from a wise person before that if you want to be in a successful business that's going to thrive, you should actually be in a business to where you can solve problems. And I immediately knew that credit was a problem right then and there, hearing it year after year from my friends and family. So that to me was a light bulb effect. It was like, okay, credit repair is an issue. So this is something that I want to look into. And that's what actually got me into financial services.
And that's awesome. You just had that itch and you had that willingness.
A light bulb.
Exactly. And that's what it's all about, being fun in what you do. And I know I got some questions for you. A lot of times I don't ask the questions because I always go to something else. I always go left field, but we're going to have a great time. Let's talk about success. What is your blueprint for success? Everybody has a blueprint. So what is your blueprint for success?
So number one, and a lot of people probably can agree with me, y'all can jump in anytime. So number one, I would say my blueprint is keeping God first because I'm a believer, I'm a Christian. I'm not super over religious, like, oh my God, like a nun, but I believe in God. And so my blueprint is keeping God first because I've noticed that I try to do this business without him and I didn't have the strength. So I knew I had to get in my prayer closet, like God gave me the strength, let me know if I'm in the right field, blah, blah, blah. So that's when I was able to really just get the strength and really have confidence in what I'm doing. So I would say number one, keep God first. And because my business didn't start thriving until I implemented God in my business. And that's on facts. And then also I would say consistency, showing up for yourself. Because if we don't show up for ourselves, nobody else is going to take us seriously. No one else is going to show up for us. So I would say my blueprint is actually being consistent. You have to be consistent, even on those days you don't feel like it. Unless you're sick, of course, chill. But if you just be motivated, I would say do whatever you need to do to motivate yourself. So I would say put yourself first and show up for yourself. Consistency is serious because I didn't see any growth in my business until I became consistent. Because at first I was like, oh, I go here and there. I feel like it today, but not tomorrow. I would just chill, eat ice cream. But when I really start showing up and crushing it and going hard, that's when everybody started coming out the woodwork. So I'm like, okay, consistency, another light bulb moment. So I would say consistency. And not only show up for yourself, but show up for the people who need you because, Shae, she does workouts, she does insurance, right? It sounds like Anna is entrepreneur advisor. If she don't show up and believe in herself for the people, nobody's going to know what she do. So show up for yourself. It's a blueprint.
That's some important stuff. Show up for yourself. Be consistent.
Yeah.
We know that people always follow other people's lead in what they do. If you're excited about your product, other people get excited about your product because they want to know what you're talking about. It must be something proven. So I got to find out what you're doing because people feed off your energy. They're just like if you on stage, you rocking the mic. You see some rap artists who don't bring no type of energy. They'll say, you know how it goes. The crowd they be into not be into it, but if you're very excited on stage, everybody's gonna follow your lead. So what keeps your excitement going on a regular basis? Because I know a lot of times we get into our feelings, we get emotional. I don't feel like it today. I don't feel like it right now. I'll just do it tomorrow, or I'll just do it 2 weeks from now. But you gotta keep
I give up.
going. Yeah, I give up. You gotta keep going for yourself, because my thing, well, my philosophy, I say this: ain't nobody's gonna knock on my front door and say, "Hey, Ferman, I need to get your life together." I have to go make things happen. So what you're doing, you're making things happen, and other people is catching Wi-Fi to it, and that's what I respect about it. So, what is your why? Everybody has a why. So, what is your why, and what Nicole do?
So I would say, ooh, it's a surprise question. I didn't see that question.
Keep you on your toes.
You got great, keep me on my toes.
Yeah, I told. Yeah.
So sometimes people will say my why is my kids, but that's expected. We all want, if we have kids on here, we all want to do great things for our kids. That's normal. But I will have to say my why is just living out my purpose here on earth. Because if we wake up every day and we don't have any purpose, we feel like we're not purposeful, we're gonna feel useful and not useless. You know what I mean? We're gonna feel useless pretty much. So my why is being able to have purpose while I'm here on this earth. Able to do what I'm supposed to be doing. You know what I mean? Instead of just sitting in a corner or sitting down watching reality TV shows and not having a life of my own. My why is to really get up and to create my life. That's my why, because I want to be able to create my own life.
You know what? You just said something interesting there. You like to create your own life.
Mm-hmm.
Say that one more time, because some people don't get that. Because you say that, they're gonna think that you're some type of
She's not.
word? What's the word? Because the Bible say it. I'm gonna say it because the Bible say I'm a God. So when you say stuff like that, people gonna say, "Oh, you sound like you're trying to be God, and you're not God." So say that one more time, because we love to be out the box here on the podcast.
So I want to be able to live the life that God has for me. I want to be able to get, my why is to be able to get up and do everything that I'm called to do.
Mm-hmm.
Me, not the next person, what I'm supposed to do. So that's my why. My why is to be able to get up and to live my life that God has for me. There we go.
Well, I say, hey, I respect that, because I create my own universe. It starts in my mind. And I know you said about kids, and one day I hope to have children one day of my own. And it's a beautiful thing of having that generation coming up behind, because we know that God deals with generations, talks in tribes. And preparing the next generation. What is your take on that, preparing the next generation? I know I had some questions for you, but you just took it to a whole other arena on the show. So what is your preparation for the next generation?
For the next generation, I would say we have to set this tone for the next generation. Like what Anna's doing, what Coach Shae is doing, we're setting the tone, we're going out to deliver, giving them knowledge. So we can pass it on to our kids, and they can pass it on to our grandkids, and it can continue to go down generation after generation. Because our children is only going to be taught what we teach them, and from the example that we set. So the example that we are setting today, everyone on this podcast, is actually setting the tone for the next generation.
Man, that's
I absolutely agree with that. You know, Nicole said some things when she was talking about walking, working, and living, you know, to serve your purpose, and, you know, putting those things first, putting God first. And a lot of times I know we waste a lot of time trying to figure out, well, what am I called to do? What is my purpose, right? So we'll sit still instead of being active and producing, because we're not connected, we're not in tune, and we're really wasting time trying to figure out, well, what am I supposed to do? So I do want to speak on, at some point, we have to realize, no matter what space you're in, no matter what capacity, you can serve where you are. And so we have ambitions, we have dreams, but no matter what you're currently doing, you can serve in any role you're currently in. And when you just start being you actively work towards doing good, doing better in everything that you do, you start serving wherever you are. It can be in the mortgage industry, the insurance industry, the fitness industry, the spiritual industry. You can serve at any level, any capacity. And as you start serving, doors will be open for you, revelations will be made clear that you're doing what's right. So you don't have to sit there and wonder. That's when you get in tune. So I just want to encourage somebody out there, don't waste so much time figuring out, well, what am I supposed to be doing, when and where, when you could be doing something right now. And so when we talk about moving in our own lanes, Nicole, talk to us about, what do you do in the mortgage industry? That's very interesting to me.
Yes, so I've been in the mortgage industry. I was not expecting this. Hey, girl. I've been doing it for like over a decade. Since like 2012, I've been in the mortgage industry. And if you don't know, right now, real estate and mortgage industry is completely up. It's a really great career to be in. I got into it and they taught me at a really young age. And you know, about the thing about real estate and mortgage, once you in, it's hard to get out. Like once you in, people want you because you have the knowledge and experience. So I've been doing it for over a decade. So what we do is I am more on the post closer. I work closely with the other closers, and I work really close to the underwriters. So I really help close the loans, the final loans, to get all the collateral and help underwrite it.
Awesome. So working closely with underwriting, have you seen some behind the scenes and maybe have tips for those who are looking to go through the mortgage process, the home buying process? What's one tip you can give someone that can help them expedite things or get it done correctly?
Yes, I would say go to an experienced realtor, go to an experienced corporation. One or two will do to give you the best value for your home. And then number two, I would say definitely get your credit up so we can have more buying power in the mortgage industry, meaning lower down payment. Make sure that you take advantage of every program that you could take advantage of. FHA, government loans, assistance. There's so many loans out there that you can get approved for, but I would definitely say make sure your credit is where it's supposed to be, at least 650 and up, so that way you don't have to have higher interest rate and higher down payment.
Awesome. So when you're working with certain mortgage companies, do they specifically do certain programs, or do all mortgage companies offer the same programs? FDH, what's all the, I don't know the terms, but can you get those same things from every mortgage company, or do you need to look for something that specifically suits you and your financial needs where you are when it comes to what type of loan, what type of mortgage you're trying to get?
Definitely find a company that suits your situation, because not every company actually offer government loans, and government loans you're going to get your best bet for. I mean, I'm talking lower interest rate, lower down payments, more programs that you can get money back for. So definitely look for specific companies that can help with your financial needs.
So do your research.
Definitely. Every company is different. They offer different programs. A good question.
And I also got some comments too. Kareem Bennett said, great show. He also say, I wear this. He said, I wear this is for me. And he said, I had to get home, drop the first for our project Lazy. So big shout out to Kareem for leaving comments. But he did say, I wear this is for me. So did anybody want to share anything on that? He said he's aware that this episode is for him. So
absolutely. I'm
glad to have you tuned in.
Welcome. Stay tuned. Comment below.
Yes.
I'm so excited to be talking about all of this, especially with you, Nicole, because I'm studying to get my broker's license, and the next thing on my list is actually my mortgage license. So having you here, you're giving me the inside scoop, and you're also helping our listeners become more knowledgeable, more educated, because that's what we need. We make a lot of mistakes, because I know when I made my first purchase, my first home, I didn't know a lot, and I didn't have a lot of people to help me or advise me. So I know I made some rookie mistakes. I wasn't aware of what type of loan I got. I think it was a good one. I didn't negotiate any. I just kind of went with what the person was telling me. I bought the model home in my neighborhood. I was like, okay, that'll
Do you know what kind of loan is it now? Is it conventional? Is it government sponsored? Do you know now?
Now, my first one, it was, what you say, FH?
They have, that's Federal House Authorities, FHA. They have VAs if you're a veteran. Yes. They have government sponsored loans like Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac.
My first one was FHA, and I actually didn't have to put anything down on my first home. All I had to do was an earnest deposit of $500, and it was really nice. I was the first person over here. I was living, it was all woods around me. They were building up my subdivision at that time. I was
That's
very
awesome.
young. I think I had just turned 20. And then now I learned more about conventional loans. And that's what I currently have. But yes, teach us about some more stuff about that. You said you've been in the industry. How?
For a decade. And then also, I know you said that you were getting ready to get your broker license. Let me know if you have any questions about that, because actually my uncle, he is a broker. So if you have any questions about that, I'm sure that he wouldn't mind answering your questions.
Man, it's awesome stuff going. Look at all this flowing going on. Also, Sabrina Ford gave some parts. So big shout out to Sabrina Ford as well in the comment section. So we're very excited about having Nicole on here with us. A lot of great information. Shae, you got something you want to go ahead and share? Jump in this conversation.
Yeah, I would just say, like, it's just amazing, like, to know, like, we really are allowed to create the life that we want. Like, we really are allowed to create, and kind of have Ferman was saying, like, we have to allow God to operate through us. And when you realize who you belong to, like who you are, I think that's when you really start to find your purpose, right? I think people, like Anna was saying, like, people waste their time trying to find their purpose. But a lot of people, I don't think people do that. I honestly think people sit and be complacent because they don't seek it. Like they don't seek to find their purpose. I think to be purpose driven, you have to seek your purpose. You don't just come here knowing, like what your purpose is, what God intended you to do. But like being consistent, being in service, doing things that you are good at will shed light on the things that do provide your purpose. So I think it's being aware of what position we play. I think I've talked about it before, like when I've said, like, know what part of the body you are. If you the head, be the head. If you the arm, be the best arm. You could be the big toe, because I still need my big toe, but I need you to be a good big toe, not a defective one that I'm gonna have to cut off. Same, like you just have to know what part of the body that you play, and also following the right leaders. Like a lot of us will be real quick to jump on popular, like this popular trend, but we really have to be mindful of following the right people. Like Nicole is a person that I decided to follow, not only because podcast, but because I realized and I look at her content and I realize she's very knowledgeable. She knows what she's talking about. She knows what she's doing. So you have to be around people that not only following the right leader, but people that are reputable, like have a good reputation, have recognition. Like Anna had crazy recognition. She got crazy trophies and plaques and all. Like, why wouldn't you want to talk to her about your finances? Like, it's crazy. Like, why wouldn't you want to do that? So it just really, and Anna's not popular. She's not viral. She don't have 10,000 followers on Facebook or anything, but this is a person that's very credible to speak to. So it's really being intentional about who you talk to about these things, y'all. Really be mindful, because y'all be wondering why y'all credit really ain't getting repaired and stuff. And y'all wondering why y'all financial stuff not really changing, because y'all really not talking to the right leaders that can really take you where you really need to go. So be mindful of that, y'all.
And also with that is also finding your own voice too. Learning how to think on your own. It's good to get information from people. Take great information. Take it to your blacksmith. You know what a blacksmith does? It custom fits you. So take great information. Take to your blacksmith. Implement in your own life, but also still be a thinker, but learn from other people to be your own person. That makes sense what I'm saying. But a lot of times people follow people, they really don't know who they are. We tell people, be yourself. How can you be yourself? You don't know who you are. You never took time out to learn who you are. And when you learn who you are, then you become benefit to everybody in your circle. So take great information, take it, apply it, but add it to your arsenal. So that's what we love here. Be your own person, but at the same time, be interested, be fun, have fun, and not to waste time. A lot of time we waste time. I know Anna was saying something about time and how we waste time. We worry about tomorrow. Tomorrow's not even promised. We're living for the now. But let's talk about that with Nicole as well. Let's talk about time, Nicole. How do you implement time? I know you hear people say we got 24 hours in a day, which we do, but when you think about time, how do you implement your time as the person that you are?
Yes, so yes, because if you don't know, I'm a mom. You know, I'm like a chef, okay? Like you want to eat every 5 minutes. Not a personal chef, but I'm learning. Okay, and then I'm like a maid. I'm everything. Okay, so I have to really maximize my time. So what I do is to help me maximize my time is I keep a billboard and I actually have a marker to where I just jot everything down that I need to do. And then when I'm able to get that done, I just mark it off, and I can have that whiteboard right in front of me for a reminder. And then maybe I have to do something for the day. So I'll just prioritize what's most important to what's less important. And I really do all of that. I do. So I make my time, maximize my time by really just mapping and planning it out and keeping track of my time and what I'm doing. But sometimes I lose track. I'm human, because I stroll a little bit too long. And I'm like, dang it, I feel guilty. I'm like, Jesus, it's been an hour, 2 hours. I feel so guilty. Jesus, help me. So, but I really do try to do that. And that's how I keep track of my time.
Oh, so what I heard you say is time management is key. It sounds like you like structure and stability.
I need that in my life.
Yeah, me too. I can't function without it. I am a writer list queen. I have boards. I write in my journal all the time. But you're absolutely right. It keeps me on track of things. I also heard you say you're human. You lose track of time, scrolling on
Like last night,
Facebook.
I was scrolling a little bit too long. I'm like, Jesus help me. I should have been in bed. Here it is, 1 a.m.
I was watching one TikTok. I looked up, it was 2 days later. I don't know how that happened.
Whoa. I don't feel guilty anymore.
No, it went 2 days. But it's crazy. What you say, Shae?
That's how we do. We get lost. We get lost in the, I call it the black hole. We get lost.
It's easy.
Since we marketing, advertise, and our presence is on social media, we pretty much live here. So it's hard. So
it's
I'm trying
hard.
to get better with the social media time management. Everything else in my life is definitely scheduled.
And Ferman was talking about, and Shae was talking about, a lot of times she was saying what you see, because a lot of times she said, are you copying the right person? Grandma said, copy the right cat. You know, are you following the right person? Because it's so easy to be fooled on social media, right? Everybody's on their phone, everybody's on their computer, and it's easy to become something you're not. So where can we find the authenticity of it all, right? And so especially when it comes to things that are sensitive and personal, like your credit, you don't want to just talk to anybody. And it's hard telling the legit people from the scammers. Nicole, how do you feel about recently in the news? It was a major company that was shut down, known for credit repair, you know, and the feds came in and established that and deemed it to be a scam for certain reasons. Now, credit repair is not a scam. It is needed, and we need to be more knowledgeable of the power of good credit, right? But there are some people who take advantage of those who are not knowledgeable. So how do you set yourself apart, Nicole, from the scammers? You know, how do you do it? Like, it's so hard to tell who's real, who's not. What are you offering? What are your thoughts about that company being shut down?
Yes, I actually heard a little bit about that company shutting down. I know exactly which company you're talking about, and that's crazy because when I first started interviewing for credit repair companies, that was actually one of the first companies that I actually interviewed.
Me too.
Yes, and I was like, tell me more, but I decided to not go with that company, and thank God I went with another company, or else I'll be stuck like Chuck right now, right? Lost all my residuals. I feel for those people, but it's never good to be in a business that's scamming. And you can't tell me half of them people didn't know that the scamming was happening. You know some scamming is happening in the business because you're part of the business. So can't feel too bad for them people because I'm totally not about scamming. I don't even want to be a part of a company or even a person or a group that's scammers. I just so I'm in the space that I am in my life right now. I know that I can't get far by scamming people. I wouldn't be able to sleep at night. It's just not my personality. So how I set myself apart, or the company actually set themselves apart. We've been a 17, now 18-year-old company. And how we set ourselves apart is, the great thing about it is we don't see any personal information. So whenever they sign up, we don't see their debit card information, we don't see their address, we don't see their credit score, we don't see their credit report. And actually, the company that you're referring to, they actually did the work for them. So they saw all of their information. Everything is confidential in our company. We don't see their credit report, we don't see their credit score. All we see is their name and their phone number, so we can get in contact with them to give them the next steps on what they should do in case they need help. So we are set apart hugely, tremendously, just because of that part right there.
Absolutely.
It's a DIY digital system. They do all the work. We just assist.
Man.
That is that's different. I like that.
That's why it's so affordable, because they actually fix their own credit. So basically, we're just offering, we're just talking about it, we're posting about it. What I can get on live and just advertise and talk about it and have fun, and I love that. And they just basically get my link, sign up, and everything is digitally sent to them, and they actually open up their credit. It's a whole digital software system that is showing and telling them, audio and video, how to repair and fix their own credit from the comfort of their home. It's super set apart. Tremendously.
So they're actually, I guess the product will be, they're paying for the information with it.
They're paying for the knowledge. Yes, they're paying for the knowledge, the information, and the assistance, because we have an 800 Credit Club chat. So even though it's DIY and it comes in audio, it's literally telling them and showing them in audio and video. People are visual and they want to hear, right? And not only that, we have an 800 Credit Club chat, 24 hours assistant. It's going to answer any challenging credit questions they have. It's bomb to me all around.
I think that sounds awesome. And I do want to tell anybody who's watching, don't feel bad if you got scammed. We done all got scammed before, okay? And sometimes
you at least one time.
At least one time, you done got scammed by your cousin, that boyfriend, that girlfriend.
In business.
Okay, we done got scammed in more ways than one, but I say it jokingly, but when it comes to things like credit repair, your finances, things like that, we have all made mistakes. You don't have to feel shy or embarrassed if you have in the past, because you don't know what you don't know. But what you can do going forward is make sure you work with somebody reputable, like Shae suggested, like Nicole, like myself. Make sure you do some background check. Check out those credentials. Get some information on the company, the structure, how do they do business? That's why licensing is very important. Who are they established with and through? Who do they partner with? Just do a little bit of digging. Don't go by the first thing you see, because things look flashy. Everything that glitters is not gold. But a gold mine is getting that credit score in order, okay? So what you're doing, do it yourself, credit repair, you're able to help the masses. What's one tip you would give somebody to help them get their credit in order? Just one.
I would say believe that you can do it, because I have a lot of people that start and they want to give up. And they message me before they give up, and I say, no, have you sent your letters out? Have you even logged in? Somebody be like, no, I haven't logged in. And then I would say consistency, believing that you can do it. We have an 800 Credit Club chat with so many results. People are literally every day showing their proof and their results in the 800 Credit Club chat. Like, I had this renewed today, we're in there, we're graduating. So I would say keep going.
It's a process. Yeah.
Keep going.
When you're doing anything that takes a process, it's easy to get distracted and deterred. You have to stay the course, because nothing worth having happens overnight. A lot of times we're looking for get rich quick schemes, and then we're mad when we get scammed, or we're looking for something to happen overnight. Your credit will not jump up overnight. And if someone promises you that or guarantees you something like that, it's probably fraudulent. Okay, your credit score will continue to fluctuate with the decisions and the accounts and your history that you continue to make. So a lot of times people don't know that everybody's credit situation is different. A lot of times people think if you just dispute everything off you're going to have a perfect credit score. And that's not actually how credit works. Can you kind of explain to those who may not be aware, talk to us about the credit score system and how it's set up?
Yeah, so we can't give all the blueprints because you have to get the digital system to learn all the knowledge. But because I've learned that some people are wrong with it, but I'm gonna do it myself now. I'm gonna give you a few tips, maybe 1 or 2. So good question. Thank you so much, Anna. So I would say number 1, what's most important is please know if you have something on your credit, like Anna said, it's not the way you think it works. If you have a dispute that you need to dispute on your credit, and say for instance, you just pay it off and you're thinking next week to next month, because the credit bureaus, they update everything within 30 days. So you're probably gonna pay off this debt thinking in 30 days it's gonna just voila, magic, gone. So we do not recommend that you pay off old debt. You basically, there is an order that you have to do to get the actual debt removed. And that's why we say, come to us, because we're going to show you how to properly dispute it off your credit report. Because every situation, every debt, every derogatory information is actually different. So say we want to get everything deleted. That's what you want. We don't want to see it on there. When we go to the car lot or to buy our brand new house, the thing is, we don't want them to see the negative items on our report, right? That's the goal. So you're thinking that since you're gonna pay it off, it's gonna just voila, magic, gone. But no, it's gonna be different for each situation, each debt. That's why you have to come to us and you have to you have to dispute properly. And then let me give you another one. Number 2 is, there's another blueprint in place for, someone's calling me. There's another blueprint in place for disputing. So say for instance, when you dispute, there is a blueprint. So if you don't know, here in the United States, we have a Fair Credit Reporting Act to where you have the right as a consumer to dispute everything on your credit report, right? So even if the debt is yours, you still have the right to dispute it, because at the end of the day, disputing is because you want the consumer to continue your mission before you pay off anything. Because I had a client last night say the debt is mine, do I still dispute this? Even though I don't recognize it, do I not dispute it? So I say you have the right to dispute everything that's on your credit. So that's another key. Even though you remember opening the debt years ago, before you pay them a dime, you want your original documentation. You want verification of proof that you pay every penny accurately. And let me tell you, 90% of the time, our debt has been sold to another consumer. So guess what? By law, they probably don't even get your documentation. So that's another blueprint. If they can't send you your documentation within 30 days of you sending the letter, by law, Fair Credit Reporting Act, they're supposed to remove it and delete it off your credit report. And that's why they're fighting you so hard when you send those dispute letters out. Yes, thank you, Shae.
Yeah, I'm appreciative to all of those tips. And for our viewers who are watching, if you're not aware how your credit is ranked and how your score works, you're being judged on a couple of categories, right? And each are rated differently, some more heavily than others. So your length of credit, like how long you've had established credit, your history, okay? That's one way that you're being judged and ranked. Your credit worthiness, okay? Inquiries, how often do you ask for credit? It doesn't matter how many times you're approved or denied, how often are you asking to borrow money? That weighs on you as well. Okay, of course you have delinquencies, bankruptcies, collections. Those collections, negative things like that do heavily affect your credit score. How many open accounts do you have that are active and in good standing? They're also looking to see, do you pay your bills on time? All right, so if you want to know more about your credit, make sure you have to establish credit. You need something on there, okay? So you can create some history. That's why you'll hear some people say they authorize a line of authority to their children so they can start establishing credit at an earlier age, right? Pay your bills on time. Don't over request funding, okay? Minimize those requests. And by all means, I know we're human, but avoid negative things like collections being 30, 60, 90 days late.
Got the collections. Okay, This is a question that people really never are able to answer for me. Do you pay the thing go into? Do you pay your collection?
I'm gonna tell you what I do. Okay, because people gonna tell you. The first thing, if you are a believer, you gonna pay the people who you legitimately owe. Because people of God are not scammers. Okay, we gonna pay who we owe. That's the first thing. And when you pay your bills on time, they don't go into collections. Okay, y'all know it's y'all debt. Why y'all playing? All right, but when it comes to like when you say it's in collections, like Nicole said, a lot of the times the people, yes, they then sell that debt to someone else. The person you establish that open account with, they probably have filed it on their insurance. They done sold it for pennies on the dollar. So this next person, that's why you can negotiate, right? They're willing to take almost anything because they probably paid 50 cents for your $500 debt, right? And after a certain amount of years, how heavily is it rated on your credit report? It's an up and down thing. It's an up and down thing. It
like,
depends on
however, when you negotiate, you know what else is important when you negotiate. Because you
is it going to be
negotiate.
removed? You can pay for it and it still be on there.
That's what people mess up. They call and they want to negotiate.
And when you call and negotiate, you are now confirming that that is your debt.
And they can start the statute of limitation all over again if they wanted to as well. The 7 years
really?
they don't play.
Well, let me talk about this too, and I want to go deeper. And we're not talking about stuff that's important. And it is important, but some more stuff that's important. Let's talk about credit and relationship. Let's say you meet somebody. Because there's a lot of stuff we don't talk about. I'm learning this stuff now. We don't talk about credit when it comes to being in a relationship with somebody because that affects the things in the long run. So how do we talk about credit score, finances, when it comes to relationship? This is important information that we need to know because this stuff is very important.
Ferman, you asking the girl what her credit score is on the first date?
Because what I'm saying is because we got to be open-minded because that's reality. It's reality. It is really reality. Because people go into stuff, they go in lying, manipulative instead of being honest about certain things.
Well, don't ask her about her credit. If you don't plan to wife her, don't go ask her.
No, see, it's about wife material. I'm just saying. I'm talking about wife material. I ain't talking about no chicken head. But anyway, I'm talking about.
She probably don't got even no credit established. The chicken head, she probably don't.
When it comes to feelings and finance, I'm just gonna say this: you gotta take it slow and proceed with caution. So if you're courting someone, have fun, interact. But if you feel like y'all are ready to take it to the next level, before you jump head over heels, yes, some discussions need to be had. I would start by establishing what are your long-term goals. I ain't gonna just ask them his credit score, but you kind of can tell by someone's decision-making skills by the things they do, by their actions, by their character. Sometimes, right? And you get to know somebody. I will ask what's some long-term goals, what are some expectations that they have for themselves, because you kind of want to see if we're aligned. Because I am going to say this, I would be a partner with someone doesn't have perfect credit, who isn't the wealthiest, if they have the mindset of they're working on it and trying to improve.
Yeah, that's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. It's all about coming together and planning together. Okay, I 5 year plan.
I ain't co-signing, but I hang in there with you.
No, because what it is. Yeah, but no, you don't co-sign for nobody. But this stuff is very important because we don't talk about this kind of stuff when it comes to relationships. Everybody gets so caught up on the puppy love, but when reality set in, why ain't you signing for all this? But really talk about this stuff, because this stuff is very important. We don't talk about a lot of stuff. We just surface drilling, but we never really get deep down in these conversations that really helps out a person.
Nicole, Shae, what y'all think? When it comes to finance and feelings, when do we start discussing those things? And what's the deal breaker? Is there a limit?
I think it don't lie. Don't lie to nobody. So
I think it is a limit. I think it is a limit. I think when it comes to finances is a very touchy subject anyway. Nobody really like to disclose what's in a bank account, what they don't have, what they do have. They ain't really trying to disclose it. But if this is some person that you see longevity with, those type of conversations do need to come up. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, for me, it was, have you established credit? Because when me and my fiance first got together, I hadn't even established credit. I hadn't worked on my credit. So it was him even asking, have you established credit? You know, so it's really asking those questions and really finding a way to ask those questions without being insulting or making anybody
Belittling.
prying. You know? So him asking me, hey, had you established any credit, was a good way to be like, well, you know what? I really haven't. And y'all don't think that you won't get approved for certain stuff. Like, you really have to try. Like, for me, I was like, I ain't gonna get approved. They don't ever approve me for nothing. And, you know, I got approved for a security card, and I've been having my line of credit for like 7 years now. So don't put yourself down. If you've been turned down a few times, that's okay. One no get you closer to the yeah. So it really was me, you know, like a matter of just trying and really finding out what go within my financial budget and what fits me to be approved for certain cards and stuff like that. So this is stuff that we don't like. This is literally stuff we don't get taught, and this is things we don't talk about because I think we even talked about it before on the episode with Rodney. Like, money conversation bring this type of fear. Like, you get to talking about money and people would just like want to run up under the table and hide.
Very secretive, yeah.
Yeah.
Nicole, what do you think?
I think that is super important. And the conversation, well, it would be easier for me, the conversation for me, since, you know, I offer a digital credit system, you know, I could slide that in, you know. That'll be an easy topic for me since I do that, talk about credit every day, right? The Shae situation, she's like, how do I bring that topic up without seeing me? You know, so that'll be easy for me. I'll slide it right in, you know, like, hey, you know, I have a digital credit system. So, but usually I don't have to ask people about their credit, because once I say I offer a digital credit system, they're like, you know what, they automatically tell me I need to fix mine. So people just come to me and they tell me that. I don't have to ask. But in a relationship, the answer Anna's question, in a relationship is really serious, that both of the partners do establish really great credit, or at least currently working on their credit. I'm not saying, like Anna said, they don't have to be perfect, like 800. I think it goes up to like 900, they say nowadays, credit score. But I do say that they should be establishing their credit and within the beginning of the relationship or before. Let's prepare, guys, before we get married. Why wait? Why party all weekend? You know, you need to fix your credit, get in the house and fix your credit. Priorities, right?
Exactly.
So I would say it's for both partners to currently be working on their credit or already have that established, because it's really going to stop them from living the dream life that they want to live as partners, talking about their dream white picket fence home or whatever type of home they want with the beautiful dog and the kids. It's going to really stop them from their buying power, from being approved for a lot of things that they want in life. And that can really stunt a relationship and bring depression. So I feel like it's important to have that established, so that way you can live that more lifestyle and you'll be a lot more happy. I think it's important.
Yeah.
Because keep in mind, one partner after a while is going to get tired for having to go and get a line of credit for years and years. They're going to be like, eventually, like, hey, I'm going to need you to step up the game and get your credit fixed. Right. They're gonna get tired of being the main one to having to open a line of credit. So I feel like it should be on both partners to get that priority straightened out even before you get married, if you can.
I mean, honestly, that just means that's how I feel, because I believe in having your kingdom, having your empire put together, having your legacy put together with the person that you with. And this stuff is very important to me, because I'm thinking long term, not thinking right now, long term, after everything all said and done. I want everything to be on point, established. I want my foundation to be strong, and really encourage men to get that mindset. Because a lot of guys, some guys don't have that mindset. They think it's all about sex, and it's not about sex. It's all about being established. Be established is very important to me as a man. It's not about the woman. It's about men. Be established. then that woman's going to accept you for who you are. If you just trying to manipulate her, and it
I
ain't
don't
gonna last.
know. Just not have, if you two don't have similar money views, it don't have to always be 100% the same, but it's going to cause tension and conflict, and it's
Yeah.
going to deter you from accomplishing your goals if you two are moving in different directions. Not saying one is more right than the other, but you do need to be on one accord. Yeah, you don't have to be perfect. Just like this show, we mess up all the time. We ain't gotta be perfect, but we do need to be clear on what we're trying to do and achieve. But one of the top reasons for divorce is finance, financial strains. So a lot of times what happens is we didn't effectively communicate what was going on. So a lot of times you'll have a person who's a saver and you have a person who's a spender. And when y'all are not on one accord, it affects the household drastically. And it's like one person can weigh the other one down. It's almost impossible to elevate if you have someone who is draining you, right? So that's why it's important to have conversations like, what things do you want to accomplish? Where do you see yourself? Do you have a plan to make those things happen? Even if they don't, if we talk about it, you can kind of get an idea if that's somebody you can rock with, because you got like some women who have the mindset the guy should pay for everything. And some guys say, I want somebody who's going 50-50 on everything, with me. Okay, then you got some men who use finance as a way to dominate instead of, being the lead of the household. So it's a lot of different dynamics out there, especially when we have a generation of very independent females. We've been strong, we've been independent, we've been knowledgeable, but we're bringing even more to the table now because we're in a position of power. We're in leadership positions, we're earning more in our salaries and our income. I see a lot of women who saying, I ain't depending on a man. I gotta have my secret stash. They got their secret life going on. We see the people who not getting the prenups and all that kind of stuff.
Well, I'm like this. When I get married, I'm in it for the long haul. I mean, that's
You
what it
what?
is for me. I said, when I get married,
They'll do us part.
I mean, that's how it's supposed to be. When I get married, it's gonna be dealt to us part. That's how it's gonna be. Because I'm 40 years old, man. You look at life different, but this stuff is important. Main thing about the story, and I said it before, it was this preacher. He was gonna marry this couple, and I'm gonna tell what guys mess up on. They keep calling it looks. The girl had so many issues going on. The preacher tried to get the man to see that. You know, his response was, "He said how fine she is." He said, "Okay, she got all this stuff going in her life. Are you willing to deal with that?" You see how fine she is, and some guys get caught up in the outer appearance. Then soon they get off into it. Oh, I didn't sign up for all this. I'm leaving now. That's why you have to. You may think when what Jesus said is, have you sit down and consider the cost? We don't think things through. We just fall from motion. Oh yeah, I can do that. I can do that. No, you answer too fast. You let somebody know, this is where I'm at. This is what I got going on. That gives the other person a choice whether they want to roll with you or not. Instead of saying, oh yeah, I can do that. No, you can't. You answer too fast. Have you said thought about what I said? You have to sit and think about what people say. Then come back and say, you know what? I thought about what you said. Yes, I can. No, I can. We save each other time. That's what I'm learning in my own life. Think about what we just so quick to say, yeah, and we never think things through. That's why Jesus said, have you sit down and consider the cause. Don't be quick to bill when you don't have the proper stuff in place. That could save a lot of heartache and pain if you just learn how to be careful.
Yeah, that's so true. That's so true.
So we gotta protect ourselves. I gotta protect myself. Everybody gotta protect themselves. You gotta protect yourself out here.
Agreed. And when you get married, remember, it's not just you. You become one. So all his debt is your debt.
Yeah. And this stuff is important to talk about when you go down that road. Talk about this kind of stuff. It's not to shame nobody. And if that person's willing to come up to that level, by all means, hey, do it. Be a team. Have fun with it. It's not about making you feel bad, because we all are working to make it.
Mm-hmm. That is so true. Nicole, tell everybody where we can find you. We need our credit repair.
That's right.
Yay! Thank you for that. So yes, here on Facebook is Nicole Washington. You can just tap on my name. I'm sure I'm going to be on his profile. So tap on Nicole Washington, and then on IG you can find me at Success success1bay.com. That's SUCCESS, the number 1 BAE. And then on TikTok, I'm also Success1Bay as well. You can
All
find me.
right, Success One Bay. We got a do-it-yourself system with credit repair. She's also a leader in the mortgage industry, breaking down barriers. I love seeing women of color excelling. Don't get me wrong. I want all of us to win, but it touches me dearly when I see representation. When I look at you, I see a little piece of me, and that just tells me you can do it. And so that's why it's so important that we go out there and we represent, because it's not just for race and culture. It's somebody that's looking at you. And when you win, that little girl, that little boy, they're saying, man, if they did it, I can do it too. So Nicole, you're doing it with grace, girl. We appreciate you. I thank you so much for coming on the show. I'm definitely going to be following you on Facebook, letting you know how it go with me getting this mortgage license.
Yeah, I can't wait. I'll be rooting you on right there on Facebook, girl. Yes.
And awesome stuff. We thank everybody for hanging out with us tonight, of course. And I will be doing a special edition tomorrow night on the podcast. I'll be hanging out with Mr. George Brooks. We're going to be talking about identity. I'm very excited about this topic with the guys. We're going to be talking about identity. We're going to talk about having that king mindset, understanding who we are. So I'm very excited about tomorrow's night at 7 p.m. So I will be doing a special edition on the podcast. And before we get off the air, something we implemented. Before you go to bed at night, take your favorite drink, whatever you drink. Look in the mirror. Tell yourself, I love you. Tell yourself, I'm proud of you. Tell yourself, we're going to make it. Tell yourself you all that. Tell yourself that you are iconic. Tell yourself that you are authentic. Tell yourself that you're the head. Tell yourself that you're royalty. Tell yourself that you're a millionaire. Tell yourself that you're a billionaire. Tell yourself, I have your back. Tell yourself all this stuff. Encourage yourself. Motivate yourself. Don't expect everybody else to do it. You do it for yourself. And once you make that, you toast yourself and let the games begin. Nicole, we thank you for hanging out with us. Big shout out to Anna, Shae, big shout out to Kenny Primetime Williams. The best is yet to come. Also, we got upcoming stuff coming up. I'll be speaking this Saturday at the Boss Up brunch. It's a Dallas magazine here in Dallas. I'll be speaking there this coming Saturday. I'll be on another podcast August the 8th. A lot of stuff is really coming up. Anna has her financial class. She teaches on Thursday. Shae has her coaching session that she does through the week. So a lot of them have a lot of outside projects going on outside the podcast. So follow each and every, and follow Nicole as well. If you're not familiar with her, follow her. She will keep you entertained. She will educate you. She will enlighten you and have fun with getting your credit repaired. So that's what it's all about. So we want everybody to have a great night. Remember, encourage yourself. Even David had to encourage himself. So encourage yourself every moment. Don't give up. Don't quit. Don't worry about what people say. People gonna talk good or bad about you, but you know who you are. When you know who you are, nobody cannot stop you. So y'all have before we go, Nicole, do you have any final remarks before we leave off tonight?
Yes, if you're needing credit repair or you need advice on how to go further in your financial situation, definitely follow me here on Facebook at Nicole Washington. You can also find me on IG at Success1Bay, and I'll be looking forward to work with you.
Awesome stuff.
And thank you for having me on the podcast. It's so nice meeting all of you. I can't wait to see you. I'll be rooting for all of you.
Most definitely. We thank you again. Don't be a stranger. Welcome anytime to hang out with us here on the podcast. We love having excited people like yourself on here with us every Tuesday night. And like I said, we'll be back here tomorrow night with Mr. George Brooks. He's here in Dallas, Texas. He's a mental health advocate. We're gonna be talking about identity. We're gonna be talking about kingship. I got some information I wrote down this morning when I was at work. I can't wait to share it tomorrow night. It's gonna be off the chain. But y'all have a great night. We'll see you. By the way, see you in the morning, Coach Shae. We get to work out in the morning as well. So I'm ready to sweat. Yeah. I'm ready to bust this bag over, man. So
what time do y'all work out?
At 9.
Okay, that's a good time. I thought you were like 5 a.m.
Oh, I love early. It will be 5 a.m. But I feel like it might be 2 o'clock in the morning. Hey, let's go for 2 o'clock in the morning. Because I don't go to bed. I'll be up sometimes. So, all right, let's go for 2 o'clock in the morning. I'll be up.
That's a great time to work out. You all love me energized.
Exactly. Then it clears your head. When I work out, it helps me with my mental health too. It clears my head.
It does.
So
We
back.
Also, we go live, y'all. So we go live every Wednesday and Thursday morning at 9 a.m. on TikTok. So if you're not following me, follow me at I am Coach Shae on all social media platforms. And get your workout in. Bring your water and your towel, and we'll get it in 9 a.m. Central Standard Time, 10 a.m.
And that's important. Because one of the videos went viral. One of the workout video went viral the other day. That was big.
And viral. I was so excited. I was over here like,
yeah, it's fun. Like I say, I encourage guys, and speak my man, get your personal trainer. It's the best thing that ever happened. You get a personal trainer, learn different things. You can teach some things, and you'll love it. Take care of your bodies, because taking care of our temple is very important. The Bible said that God wants to prosper in our health. So in your being healthy is the will of God for your life. So what the man said, have money if you're not healthy, you're sick all the time. You need different medication. It's not good. You want to be healthy, have money. You want to have both together. So you can have money and be in the hospital bed.
yes, that part.
So we'll be talking about that too. Y'all have a great night. We'll see y'all next week, of course, and I'll see y'all tomorrow night. Y'all tune in tomorrow night here on Walking This Way Impact Woods Podcast. Peace, everybody.
Bye.
Shae.